October 14th. I do not know why today feels heavy. Maybe the air is colder than it should be for an October afternoon in Michigan. Or maybe it's because I woke up thinking of Daniel again, the way he said my name the last time we spoke, like he was closing a book but leaving a finger between the pages. It has been 8 months. 8 months since we ended things. 8 months since he moved out of the apartment and left behind a coffee mug with a crack on the side, a brown leather jacket I still cannot bring myself to give away, and a silence that feels like someone draped velvet over my life. I tell myself I'm over him. I'm not, but I pretend. Sometimes pretending is the closest thing to healing. Today I saw his name flash on my phone screen. A text. Unexpected. Short. Hey, are you around today? I could use a familiar face. My chest tightened. My hands shook. I didn't answer right away. I stared at the message until the letters blurred. What do you say to the person who taught your heart how to bloom and then watched it wilt? I typed back. Sure, I can stop by. And then deleted it. Typed again. Is everything okay? Deleted it. Finally, after too long. Where are you? He sent an address. Not his old place. A new apartment. New life. New walls I've never leaned my head against. I sat on the edge of my bed for a full minute, listening to my heart pound like it was trying to break free. Why did I agree? Why did he ask? Maybe because some threads never really snap. They only loosen and wait. Later, 4:10 p.m. I drove to his place. The sky looked bruised, dark clouds stretching long and heavy as if they remembered us too. The wind pushed against my car, and every mile felt like a step backward in time. When I parked outside his apartment building, I didn't get out right away. My reflection stared back at me in the rearview mirror. Tired eyes, curled hair frizzed from the damp air, a face still learning how to be whole without him. I whispered to myself, Regina, you can do this. It's just a visit. Just two people who used to love each other. Then I laughed, because of course it wasn't that simple. When I walked up to his door, my hand hesitated before knocking. My knuckles hovered, my breath caught. Then the door opened before I even touched it. Daniel stood there. He looked older, not by age, but by weight, the kind people carry behind the eyes. His hair was a little longer, a little messier. He wore a gray hoodie that hung loose around his shoulders. His smile was small, almost careful. Oh, he whispered. You came. As if he doubted I would. As if he hoped I would. Yes, I said, and my voice cracked in the middle. He stepped aside to let me in. Inside, his apartment was quiet, almost too quiet, like sound didn't know where to settle. Minimal furniture, half-packed boxes in a corner. A poster leaning against a wall instead of hanging. A life still in the middle of assembling itself. You're moving again? I asked. He rubbed the back of his neck. Not sure yet. Just trying different things. Trying to run from something, I thought. Or someone. But I didn't ask. He gestured to the couch. I sat. The cushions were firm, new. Not like the old soft ones we used to sink into together on Friday nights while watching bad movies. He sat beside me but not too close. Close enough that I could feel the warmth of him. Close enough that my body remembered. I'm glad you came, Regina, he said softly. The way he said my name made memories bloom like bruises under skin. We talk. At first the conversation was small, fragile. How's work? Busy. And you? Same. Surviving. We were talking like strangers wearing familiar faces. But then he sighed, a deep, tired exhale that came from somewhere far inside him. I'm not doing great, he said quietly. I didn't know who else to call. Something inside me cracked open. Because even after everything, he still reached for me. Because even after everything, I still came. Tell me, I whispered. So he did. He told me about the loneliness. The pressure at work. The nights where sleep wouldn't come. The feeling that life was a house he didn't know how to build anymore. And as he spoke, something shifted. Something old. Something familiar. He wasn't the man who walked away 8 months ago. He was just Daniel, the boy who once held my hand in the rain, the man who once whispered plans into my hair, the person who knew the rhythm of my heartbeat better than I did. And I wasn't the woman who pretended to be over him. I was Regina, the girl who still loved him in quiet, stubborn ways. A pause. He stopped talking. Silence settled between us like dust. He looked at me, and I looked back. Do you ever think about us? He asked. The question punched air out of my lungs. All the time, I said before I could stop myself. He swallowed hard. His eyes softened, then darkened with something I recognized too well. The moment, he moved closer, just an inch. Then another. I didn't move away. His hand reached up slowly, hesitantly, as if asking permission. Fingers brushed my cheek. My heartbeat tripped. Regina, he breathed, and in that breath lived every memory we ever made. I didn't speak. Words would have broken everything open too fast. I leaned into his touch. His forehead met mine. There was nothing loud about that moment. Nothing dramatic. Just two people who once loved each other too deeply to forget, sitting on a couch in a quiet apartment, rediscovering the gravity between them. I've missed you, he whispered. My eyes stung. I've missed you too, Daniel. The embrace. He wrapped his arms around me. I fell into him without thinking. His body felt the same, familiar, grounding, warm in a way that made my bones ache. I pressed my face against his shoulder. His arms tightened around me like he was afraid I would disappear. And in that embrace, I felt everything. Love that once was, pain that never left, sacrifice we both made, the quiet power of simply being held by someone who once felt like home. Maybe that's why I didn't pull away. And he didn't either. What happened next? The intimate part is handled implicitly. We didn't speak for a long time. We just held onto each other, breathing the same slow air, letting the world outside fade like a forgotten song. At some point, his fingers intertwined with mine. At some point, my lips brushed his, soft, unsure, trembling. And at some point, the space between us disappeared entirely. There is no need to write details. Some experiences are not about the physical motions but the emotional truth underneath them. Some memories belong more to the heart than the page. What mattered is this: we found each other again in a way that was gentle and raw, full of longing and regret and the kind of closeness that comes from losing someone and then touching the edge of what you once had. It was not wild, not reckless, not thoughtless. It was two lonely souls seeking warmth in a moment they weren't sure they deserved. And it felt, for a little while, like love again. After, when the room was quiet and the light from the window had sunk into a soft evening blue, I lay beside him, my head on his shoulder. We didn't speak. His hand rested on my back, drawing slow circles like he used to do when I couldn't sleep. For a moment, it felt like the past 8 months never happened. For a moment, I let myself imagine he was still mine. For a moment, I let myself fall back into the illusion of us. But illusions are fragile things, and reality waits. We talk again. Regina, he whispered. Yes, I don't know what happens now. His voice cracked. Pain lingered in the spaces between his words. I don't either, I said. He turned to face me, brushing hair from my face with tired fingers. I still care about you, he said. More than I should. I know. My throat tightened. I care too. Maybe too much. He sighed. A sad, heavy sound. But we broke for reasons, he said softly. Yes, I whispered. We did. Time, distance, dreams pulling us in different directions. The slow exhaustion of trying to fix things with hands that were already shaking. Love is not always enough. We learned that the hard way. The truth. He held my hand loosely, as if afraid to grip too hard. I don't want to hurt you again, he murmured. And I don't want to lose myself again, I replied. He nodded, eyes glossy. So what was today? He asked. I exhaled slowly. A moment, I said. A reminder. A goodbye we didn't know we still needed. His face broke, not into tears, but into that expression people wear when they're trying not to feel too much. I hate that you're right, he whispered. I hate that I have to be, I answered. The goodbye. When it was time to leave, we stood at his door again. He brushed his thumb over my knuckles. Thank you for coming, he said softly. Thank you for calling, I replied. He leaned forward and placed one last kiss on my forehead. That small, gentle touch shattered me in a way loud heartbreak never could. When I stepped into the hallway, I didn't look back. If I had, I might not have been able to walk away at all. Night, 11:07 p.m. I'm home now, sitting at my desk, writing all this because I don't know what else to do. My body is tired, my heart is bruised, my soul feels like it has been pressed between two hands, one giving, one taking. What happened today was beautiful, and painful, and necessary. Daniel and I are not meant for each other anymore. But for one afternoon, we were allowed to remember what it felt like when we were. Love does not always return to stay. Sometimes it returns to show you who you were. Sometimes to show you what you lost. Sometimes to show you what you survived. And sometimes, like today, it returns to give you one last embrace strong enough to let you go. I don't regret visiting him. I don't regret the closeness we shared. What happened between us today was not a mistake. It was a memory, a soft, aching, bittersweet reminder that love is not always forever. But it is always real while it lasts. Tonight, I will sleep with sadness. But also with gratitude, because some goodbyes are gentle. Some goodbyes hold you before they release you. Some goodbyes remind you that you once had something worth missing. And today, Daniel and I shared that kind of goodbye.